But, relatively.
I hope I can remember all my answers.
So, ready?
I'm ready then. Go for it, man.
Alright, we're filming?
Yep.
Hey, what's up? It's Grover from the Number of the Blog. I'm here with Robin from the Ocean.
Hey there.
This is the second interview we will have done with him. If you guys remember, Quigs did an interview with him a while back in London. So, without further ado, I'm going to read my questions off this handy piece of paper. So, how's the U.S. tour been for you guys so far?
Awesome. Well, that was a bit quick, to be honest. The shows have been awesome. The shows have been really awesome. This tour is great for us. Obviously, it's the right crowd. The fans between the Bear and me have to put up with a lot of stuff, and they're willing to put up with our stuff as well. So that works really, really well. They're really open-minded, and we're going down really well every night. It's been amazing shows. Yesterday was sold out in Toronto with 850 tickets, and played this huge old opera house. It was amazing. It was really, really good. What hasn't been so amazing is our touring situation, our transportation situation. We've been having massive trouble with the bus company from the very beginning. They screwed us from the very beginning. We wired them all the money up front. That was the condition for us to get a discount. And the bus arrived 32 hours late. It had a broken outer mirror. It had no working heating. We slept with like 4 jackets on in Canada because it was cold as fuck. It came without a trailer, although we paid for a trailer, although that was part of the rental contract. And it just seems that they're liars and cheaters and trying to, now they're trying to wiggle their way out of paying for the mechanical repairs that are necessary. Sometimes we had a parking brake that was stuck and had to get a mechanic to come out and release it in the middle of the night, and they didn't want to put up with that. So I don't know where things are heading in that regard. It's been a nightmare dealing with this company, and that has kind of resulted in me not really getting into this tour so much so far. Although the shows are amazing, and we have like 45 minutes of pure energy on stage every night. As soon as we get off stage, all these problems are coming back, and I'm talking to lawyers and trying to sort it out with the bus company, and it just fucking sucks, man. It really fucking sucks. I've never experienced anything like that before. The owner of the bus company allegedly reported the bus stolen in Florida before we crossed into Canada, so we didn't even know if we would end up in jail. None of this makes any sense at all. We have a rental contract, and the period is stated in there. I think he just did that as another move to try to scare us because we already paid him, so he just wants to get his bus back as soon as possible. So long story short, it's been a nightmare, but it's been awesome at the same time.
Nice question, Dan.
Alright, so last year you guys put out not one but 2 really damn good albums, heliocentric and anthropocentric. Very critically acclaimed. Have you guys had any problems translating just the concepts and emotions in such deep albums into a live show?
No, not at all. It's always exciting to play songs live for the first time because all these songs were basically written in the studio. And we started rehearsing for Anthropocentric in January, February this year. And that was the first time we ever played those songs together. It's not that we're not a jam band that jams in the rehearsal room and comes up with ideas and then, songs take shape that way. We write, compose music, although I'm not the only one writing anymore. Jonah wrote a couple of songs on that album, but he wrote his songs and I wrote my songs. And then, I added a couple of extra guitars there, rearranged some stuff and vice versa. But basically the first time we ever play a song live is after the studio sessions. So it was really awesome to play these tracks, and we're playing 5 songs of Anthropocentric live currently, not on this tour because we only have a 35-minute set, but we rehearsed 5 songs, and you never really know if it kicks as much as it does in the studio until you actually start playing them, and sometimes you realize that certain songs just don't really work so well live. That's a problem we've had with Raiation, the second track of Precambrian, which is a song that people love, and we get so many comments about that. When are you gonna play that song live? Well, we did play it live 4 times on the tour with Opeth, and it just didn't really kick us, so we kind of decided not to play that one anymore. But with those 5 anthropocentric songs, they work really well live, and it's awesome. It's good fun to play them. It's fresh for us because we toured so much last year, and it's good to play some new songs.
So where do you get the inspiration behind albums like this? I mean, they have such deep concepts to them. How do you come up with something like that?
I'm not really looking for that stuff. It's all stuff that is that I have exposed myself to at some time throughout my life. I've been wanting to make a concept album about the legacy of Christianity for a while, for many years, so it's not something that came up out of the blue. And I was first exposed to it when I lived with a diehard creationist host family in the US when I was 16 years old. Since then I've read a lot of stuff. I studied philosophy, read a lot of religious philosophers, and of course that got me deeper and deeper into the materia. So by the time I started working on these albums and the concepts behind it, I still did some research and reread a couple of things that I had read before, but it was not that I was going out there digging for stuff, it was all stuff that I had already exposed myself to. Inspiration is it's a weird phenomenon. It can come from anywhere. Like sometimes I'm out traveling somewhere and I'm on some remote beach and there's nothing there in terms of like intellectual inspiration, and still I get ideas for a concept album there. It can happen anytime. It usually happens when I'm not at home, when I'm not staring at a screen, or like being bored at home, like when I'm somewhere out there doing things, and that's when I usually get ideas, both for lyrics as well as for music. It's usually when I'm far away from home. Not really on tour though. It's too stressful and busy. It usually strikes me when I'm traveling.
So in January, you guys played a show in Berlin at a museum using some 16th century instruments. How did that come about?
You want to check your tone? Do you still get what I'm saying, or
sort of? But it's like I'm way in your face, so it's like super close up, right on Robin.
Yeah. Bam. It's just because they're starting to.
Well, yeah, I know. And that's why I'm like, wrap it up. How am I supposed to give you the signal, man?
Yeah, that museum show. That was awesome. That was a really weird kind of experience. That was the first rock concert that had ever taken place at that place. So they were not really equipped for that. They had to rent a PA completely and like the entire sound system, and we brought our own lighting, and we played amid a collection of like old instruments, like 16th century cembalos and cellos, and like really old classical instruments. That was amazing. And it was like we have this thing in Berlin called the Long Night of the Museums. It's basically a night where all the museums in town are open 24 hours, and you can get like you pay $10 and you get a free pass to go to all the museums. So we had a really mixed crowd. There were like typical ocean fans, but then there were just random people that walked in because of this Long Night of the Museums, and it was pretty packed. It was like 400, 500, 600 people or something like that. Most of them were seated because there was no stage, and then there were these two like balconies where people were standing up, and we had our video projections too, and it was a really cool but very strange show. Like people weren't really shouting, it was more like the classical applause kind of thing, It was the typical kind of rock show environment.
Alright.
I think this is pointless.
I think we're done. Thank you.
Is that enough for you, yeah?
I think you're good.
I think they should be pretty good.
Yeah. Mucho appreciate.